Hey, it's Michael with Digital T-Shirt Shop. So, gal, it has been weeks since I have done anything, and I have been, um, see, I haven't wanted to do anything. Honestly, I don't know if you saw my last video or not, but I've been, I think I went on a, I think I went on a I do not care tirade. Um, Anyhow, so I have been contemplating a lot of things. I've been working on a few different things. Have been focused on a few things. I just walked away from everything for like, I don't know, at least a week. Um, like a couple days before Christmas, I just like walked away. Now it's the 3rd of January. So yeah, it's been a few days. And the longer it's been, the more I've felt a little bit better. I think that I needed to um, step away and clear my mind a little bit, piss a few people off because they didn't get their orders, you know. But at the same time, I I have needed to kind of regroup and figure a few things out as to you know um, how what am I trying to say? Um, think a little more clearly about some of the choices that I'm making. Um, so, anyways, I think that I'm back. I think I'm getting back to a spot where I'm ready to move forward again. Anyhow, um, and I think I know a little bit about what I ought to do. Um, so, one of the things I'm going to try to do uh, over the next year is significantly simplify things. Um, I have a tendency to make things harder than they need to be for myself. And I think that making it harder than it needs to be for myself, I've had a cold too. I might have to cough here in a minute. Anyways, I have needed to, I think I've made things a little more complicated than they need to be. And I think that I need to, or what I'm going to do is simplify what I print. Um, I think I'm going to cut my prices. When I look at how my old Etsy, so I had two Etsy sites, I have two Amazon sites. I've since closed both Amazon sites. So one got canceled actually, and I closed the other one. Just wasn't getting enough sales on it. And with the difficulty with Amazon, I just decided to close them both. Well, just cancel the pro seller accounts on both of them. So now I have two Etsy sites, and I've got my numerous other websites that I sell on. But what I think that I'm going to do is on my Etsy websites, I'm going to reduce the price to $15 a shirt on colored shirts. And I'm going to reduce the price to, I might reduce the price to like $10 on white shirts. So one of the issues that I've seen with the Etsy in particular. So Christmas, I've got a whole pile of sales from my existing Etsy site where the shirts were primarily selling for in between $10 and $15. On my other Etsy site, where the shirts sell at a higher price, near $20 a shirt. I've got very, very few orders. I need more orders than that to keep my business afloat. And so, I'm kind of thinking, half wondering. What I might do is I might sell all of the men's and women's and youth t-shirts all for the same price. Instead of splitting the prices up, selling the youth for a slightly lower price than the adults. That way they're just kind of just all the same price. And then, because really technically they cost me the same. Well, I guess they don't. The ink cost on the youth shirts obviously is less because they take less ink, but the shirts oftentimes cost more. Probably what it ought to be. So, so I think that I'm going to do that. I'm going to lower the prices. I think I'm going to simplify the number of colors that I sell. I think I'm going to trim it down to just selling red, black, blue, gray, and white. It's just 5 colors, which would get rid of a lot of the variations in inventory that I stock. And then I would probably turn around and, I don't know, have a fire sale or something locally and see if I can dump a lot of t-shirts. And then, I don't know, like $1 a shirt or something like that to get rid of all the other shirts. And then I would do, so there's that. And then, so reducing the number of colors I offer, reducing the price. I'm kind of hoping with both of those that I might do a little bit better. I'm also thinking about consolidating everything to one Etsy site. The digital t-shirt brand, as it is, the digital t-shirt brand as it is has been something that I've been pushing for the better part of almost 2 years now. And honestly, if so I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here. I've got a business that I'm running, and I have equipment that I lease to own. And so it puts me in a spot where I have to stay in business. If I was just running Digital T-Shirt Shop by itself, if I didn't have the equipment leases, I would close it. I would, because even with all the time I put in and the number of years I put into it, I haven't produced near what it should, and it hasn't been as profitable as it should be up until that point. Now, where it's helping me, where Digital T-Shirt Shop is helping me, is that I've been able to pick up a bunch of local business, local printing. And the local printing has actually been, pretty consistent. So, but the online, I swear, the online footprint part of it, it's been horrible, unbelievably horrible. Amazon sales, horrible. Etsy sales, horrible. My own online sales, horrible. So what I'm looking at doing is I'm currently paying for a website for Digital T-Shirt Shop, and I'm looking at canceling that. Again, consolidating, reducing cost, and pushing that website over to another site that I have that will allow me to do affiliate sites and point domain names to it. And by doing that, I'll get rid of the other cost. But kind of the plus side of that is it pushes it over to a spot where I can just mainly focus on custom print jobs, rather than pushing a particular brand of images or anything like that. So, and so what I'm thinking about doing is where I'm talking about consolidating. I've got one Etsy site that's been far more popular than the other. It's far more traffic, far more sales. The other one's far fewer. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking the products that are on this Etsy site, moving them over to the other Etsy site, so that I just have them all on one Etsy site and not really worrying about the name that they're sold under, more focusing on the site that's selling the best, which they're selling under Family T-Shirt Shop is what they're selling under. Family T-Shirt Shop. So I'd put it over there. So it'd sell over there under that name. And then I would drop that Etsy site, simplify that whole process, drop the other Amazon site tied to Digital T-Shirt Shop, take the Digital T-Shirt Shop, push it over to the other site. And the nice thing about pushing it over to the other site is it consolidates my production too. I've got to go into fewer sites in order to, print jobs and things like that. And the production management side of Deco Networks is actually pretty good. I can go in there and I can print the invoices and I can see what's printed and not. And it manages all the aspects of it, including the artwork. It gives people the option to go in and design their own shirts and things like that. And so sometimes, like, for example, when I'm selling on Digital T-Shirt Shop and I say, hey, you can go design, send me your image, whatever. I swear 90% of people don't know how to do that. And all it does is it adds more work for me because they want me to lay it out or they want to come over and sit with me as I design a product for them to sell. And honestly, I don't have the time to have somebody come sit beside me for an hour and design a product, to print for them for a one-off, And so, they can go in and do it themselves. It's got a designer on it and they can go in and add artwork and text and everything and it pushes right to me and then I can turn right around and print it. And I think it simplifies the process because it's all within one location. So I've kind of got all of that going on. And so I think that going forth, my 2019 strategy, I kind of screwed myself with customer service this Christmas. I really did. There were at least a handful. Not a lot. Most things I got out on time. I got them shipped on time. But there were a few things that I just threw up my hands and I was just like, and I know I pissed off a few people. And, that happens at Christmas every year, but probably a few of them were avoidable. So I do also need to focus on customer service this year as well. So I'm going to try that. So on the customer service side, I need to refocus and see if I can, in most cases, what my goal has been is to get everything printed and shipped in 3 days. Sometimes it happens in 1 day, sometimes it happens in 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, more rarely 5, 6, 7, and even more rare than that is longer than that. If it comes down to it, oftentimes what I've done is I caught up on the weekend. And so whatever's accumulated during the week that I had not gotten out, I usually get it out on Saturday. But for the most part, I'm getting it out within a couple of days every day. But I need to be more vigilant and ensure that more of my products are actually shipping earlier rather than later, that I don't hit that 5, 6, 7 day wait on people for shipping. So that's going to be, I think, probably one of the bigger things. That customer service element of it. So customer service, back again, consolidating everything, reducing the price. Hopefully reducing the price will improve the sales. Sales will perk up a little bit more. And then reducing the number of color options that I'm selling. So I'm reducing my inventory, and I'm probably going to also go through, I'm hoping with like dropping some of these websites and stuff, I'll reduce some of my overhead too. I know having so much inventory on hand and all those different colors adds to inventory as well. And so I'm kind of hoping to draw that back significantly as well. And then there are a few other things I was trying to do. I've become pretty lazy about a few things. Some of the marketing and things I really haven't done a lot. I've not been bag stuffing the stickers and things that I have typically put into my orders. The little stickers and things that I've done other videos about them. I've got them sitting right here. I just haven't been shoving them in the envelopes. I've got a couple of other people that I can work with on doing some drop ship fulfillment. And I've been a little bit lazy on the accounting side of things too. That would really, really help to do some of that. And where a lot of that comes down to is simplifying things. If I've got my hands in way too many things, it just makes it incredibly difficult to manage all those things. But I've got to be able to stop, and I've got to be able to pay people on time for commissions and things like that. And I've got to be able to a lot of that stuff. I don't know. So anyhow, that kind of is what it is. That's, I guess, what I've got to say today. Other than that, it should be an interesting year. I've got I think a pretty good size program that I'm working on, kind of getting put forth, that I'm going to do some other branding and sell some things under another product line that I'm going to push third party, and it's tied to another branded product type thing. Once I've got it all put together, I'll do some videos on it and show. But that I want to say most of my interest has kind of been over there as well. And kind of developing and pushing this as opposed to pushing that rather than this. And then I think I'll go through and I'll try to make some more YouTube videos as well too. I don't know. So, we'll see what happens, I guess. So, if I had to stop and say on the grand scale of things, and I did mention this earlier, on the grand scale of things, was Digital T-Shirt Shop a success or a failure? I think it was a failure. Yes, I provided some information for people. Yes, I went through the process of creating a business and marketing it and all those things. But up to this point, it just has not, it's not sustained me. It's not grown. It's not had any significant impact on me other than giving me the experience of having done it. And who knows if I keep selling it locally, maybe next thing you know, who knows, maybe I'm doing $100,000 a year in local business, and that maybe at that point it's like, yeah, because that's, for me, it's just labor and ink costs, because 99% of everything I'm printing locally, they're providing the shirts. I'm just making money off of the labor part of printing these, so it's costing me labor and ink to print them. Maybe in that case, it's like, yeah, digital t-shirt shop's done fantastic, but the online footprint that I tried to build with it, disaster, complete and utter disaster. And I'm okay saying that. It's originally when we started Digital T-Shirt Shop, it was, hey, let's see what we can do, and let's talk about what it's like starting a business, and let's talk about the choices that we make and the decisions and why we made those decisions, and let's see if it succeeds or fails. And I made a lot of videos along the way talking about whether we were succeeding or failing, and we had a few successes. And as I think back to it, the only major success we had was selling Eclipse t-shirts. And then even if I stopped and thought about the Eclipse t-shirts, the people who sold them online through third parties, I think, made out far better than I did. Honestly, I think they did far, far better than I did. And if I was to stop and even think about that, the idea of maybe putting a little bit more time into the design, selling it through a third party, possibly pays off better than starting your own business and buying your own equipment, trying to print it yourself. So, and I don't know. So, I'm done rambling. So you guys have a good day. Don't forget to subscribe to Digital T-Shirt Shop. Thank you.